In this demo, I'll be showing you how to navigate around GES DISC's ArcGIS Portal, as well as opening an image service in the Web Map viewer and some of the options that come along with the Web Map viewer. So first, let's take a look at the home page of GES DISC's portal. A link to this page has been provided in the chat already and will be provided again at the end of the presentation. And everything on here is publicly available. You don't need to log in to see anything that I will be doing today. The first thing you might notice is the featured maps and apps section. This is just some content that we've chosen to promote because it might be interesting or important for users to see. There's also a short description of what the portal has to offer and some direct links to the content in the portal. To take a more detailed look at the content, you can go to the Gallery tab at the top of the page. And you can see all of the content in the portal in either list or grid view. If you'd like to filter by a specific content type, for example, if you're looking for only web maps, you can filter that on the left here. So here you can see we have the image service itself, we have a web map of the image service, and we have a web app, and we have even more content below. Let's take a look at the web map first. Here we have the landing page for the web map. It contains information, just a brief description of the web map. It also contains a more detailed description of the dataset itself, a link back to the GES DISC dataset landing page, as well as information on the settings of the web map and the built-in raster function templates using these color bars here as a legend, so you can preview them. There are a couple ways to open this web map. The first one is in a desktop client, so you can choose whether to open this in your own local version of ArcMap or ArcGIS Pro, but today we're going to open it in the map viewer here online. So here you can see the description. We have a legend and content on the left, and the image service loads in the map. You can see that there is a time slider here at the bottom, and this web map always opens to the last time slice of the previous day. And without doing anything, you are able to zoom and pan around. You can also animate through time. Again, you don't need any sort of sign-in to be able to do this. And if you'd like to modify the map or customize it for yourself while viewing it, you can click Modify Map in the upper right here. So some of the things I will be showing you next are kind of an extension of the Jupyter Notebook demo previously. So it will show you some of the aspects of what you can do in a web map while also continuing our look at Hurricane Ida. So the first thing we can do is change the date of what we are viewing. To do that, you go to the time slider menu here in the bottom, and you click Show Advanced Options. And we were looking at August 29th, 2021 at 12:30 a.m. before, so we can put those into these drop-down menus. And I'd also like to note that the image service time interval is set to 30 minutes, as that is what the data set is also created in. So those parallel each other. All right. And then we can move the time slider back to August 29th at 12:30 a.m. And here we have Hurricane Ida. Now if we zoom in, we can also view a pixel value to see if our calculation of the highest precipitation rate in Hurricane Ida at this time was close to what we're seeing here. And so the bottom, like kind of in the middle here, seems like the highest precipitation rate. So we can just click on a pixel and we'll get a pop-up saying what the precipitation rate of that point is. So 29.7, that's fairly close to the 32 that we had from the Jupyter Notebook. So we can see that that is very similar. Next, we can also customize the symbology of this map just like we did in the Jupyter Notebook. So to do that, you go to the layer, and this is our IMERG image service. You click the three-dot menu beneath the layer name, and then you can click Image Display. And this has a bunch of different settings to customize the image display. Right now it's set to one of the standard raster function templates that come with the service. And you can see those other templates with a description of what each one is here, along with thumbnails. Let's customize ours on our own. So we can do a user-defined render. And we hit apply. And there's the image service with no template on it whatsoever. So in order to see what the scale of what we're looking at, there are a couple of different ways to view the legend. So you can either click this tab here. Now this is a 0 to 250 scale. Or you can go to Content, and there's a little legend drop down beneath the layer name. So we can change the color of what we have here to make it a little bit easier to see. We go back to Image Display. And we can specify the stretch and what type of stretch we would like. So we can do standard deviation and put in our own statistics for this layer, and we can also specify which color we would like. So a very common precipitation display is green for low precipitation, red for high precipitation. So we can select that, hit apply, and here's our map. All right, let's go back to the original raster function template GPM log spectrum. That way we can see a little bit of the base map. Now there are other options for the base map that are included in the web map viewer, or we can add one ourselves from we can search for one from Living Atlas of the World. So these are all public, well, these are the content from the GES DISC web portal, but if you take this drop down and go to ArcGIS Online, these are all publicly available layers that you can add to your map. Again, no login needed. For this example, we can choose, let's try pan sharpened Landsat. So this should give us a nice high resolution image of Earth's surface. And we can add that. And go back to content and make sure that that is below the image service. To do that, you can go to the three-dot menu and click Move Down. Now we can see the image service right over top of this high-resolution imagery. We can also turn layers on and off, and we can share. We're able to share web map links directly from the web map itself. All right, so that was showing you how to open an image service in a web map viewer. There are a few other methods of doing this, but this is just one of them. And I also showed you some of the options of what you can do once you're viewing a web map in a web map viewer.